Not with that many shares, but still, there's 100,000 shares sitting there.
GME, GME. Buy low, sell high. See what you get. Right? So welcome to everybody out on YouTube. Thanks for joining us this afternoon.
Welcome, everyone. Mike is in a beautiful field, apparently.
Yes. Bonus points for anybody that knows where that is.
Wow, is that supposed to be recognizable enough that you could figure it out? It looks like any generic field, any one of a million places around the planet.
Yeah, but if I said that, if I gave you a hint, then people would know what it is. I got out from under the cave, Jason. No, planet
Jason,
Earth, yes.
I
So,
didn't look at their channel. No, I had no interest in following up that clip.
somebody like
Is that the
John would
field?
not know.
Is that the field where the Teletubbies play?
No, not there.
Okay.
I will say it is not
Then
in
I
the United States. So my backyard's out of the way.
Where is this? It's very pastoral. Let's see. We got some
Well, you get
undergrowth.
out
We
of
got
the
some
way.
leaves. We got some leaves changing color, so it looks like it would be somewhere where they get a winter. No, looks Canadian to me. I don't know.
Luke's Canadian.
What type of trees have we got going on here? We got this is an oak tree or something. I don't know. I have no idea. That could be anywhere.
England, almost. Germany, you could almost. I will tell you that Germany was at this spot, but it is not in Germany.
Wow, this is MU is moving its way down here. Microsoft is also taking a little bit of a dip. GE. I should have reversed my position on GE at the open, and then I would have been golden. Hasn't moved a lot, but enough. I more or less had a one or done day on GE, and I only got a 30-cent move. So take the right size, it can all work for me. It all works. Well, GME is really hanging out here
Yeah,
for longer than I would have expected.
that 150 level seems pretty pretty tight on it.
MU is still selling off.
It's close to the UK Simon out there on YouTube. All or nothing short. Short on GME, right, Jason? All or nothing.
I want to short this thing. I do, but it does look like it wants to push up. The problem with this is if it breaks 150, it's likely to break it by like $2.
Yep, very quickly.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, okay.
Look
It's
at
right.
all those orders that are coming in on 150.
Yeah, there was a bunch of orders that piled in as soon as it hit 150. So we've got some hidden sellers sitting up there at 150. I guess it would make sense. There's probably, if you're still thinking short on this thing,
Why am I
that
in
would be a
this
nice
account?
even place to short it.
Why? Why am I in this account? Okay,
I don't know
there
what's
we
going
go.
on. I mean, GME is just such a mystery right now. Here we go. Oh, again, no.
Must be an order set up.
It's crazy. Like, really, 150.
I know, especially since the other day we were, what was it at? I mean, it
I
was
thought
down in the
73 was
tens.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, on Friday, right, when it hit that high of 73, I thought, holy crap, 73. Now it's twice that. So, yeah,
I'm bringing
it
in
just
the
it goes. There's a couple of really important lessons in this that we can take from it. One is that never assume that something can't go higher because it's just crazily high. I mean, the GME has certainly proven that. The other thing that really it makes me think about quite heavily, and we've talked about this in the room before, guys, is that look at that drop,
boom. Look at
$10,
that.
just see, I told you I wanted to short it. Dang it, should have taken the risk.
But
Should have just
but
taken
if it
like
had broken that
10.
150, it could have done
I
that
know.
exact opposite.
Yeah, I
Limit
know.
down. Here we
But
go.
today it's been dropping really faster than it's been going up for,
Yeah.
so look at the big red, like look at a
Paused.
5 minute chart GME. You can see those big red candles on it. So
Yeah. Just paused.
anyway, oh, look at that. I could have got $18 on that and been halted in a downturn. Although on GME it doesn't mean much. It can just pop right back up again. But anyways, the other thing that GME is certainly reinforcing with us is the fact that the markets never remain stagnant. I've talked about this in the past that you do have to be willing to change your strategies and your approaches, I think, on a regular basis because the markets are always evolving. Usually it's evolution, not revolution, right? So it takes a long time. You can see changes happening. It takes a while for them to materialize. GME is just sort of it's like one of those Darwinian leaps, right? Where it's the market changed drastically in a couple of stocks because of previously unexperienced influence, right? The retail traders and the whole talks about WSB, Wall Street Bets. So and it's a seismic change. Will it stay? Who knows? Right? Like maybe this will be a continued force in the market that we have to deal with, and it'll change the tenor of how a lot of things trade or everything trades. Or it might fade away, right? It'll last as long as bored people are in the market spending money they wouldn't normally. And then once the world opens up again, um, off they'll go back. Oh, my son is asking for my uncle's number. This is random things I'll share with you guys, but my my uncle, so my kid's grand uncle, I guess. But anyways, my daughter calls me and says, "What's going on? I just got a bunch of money from Uncle Tom," and I'm like, "Well, I don't know. What do you mean?" She's like, she just got, anyways, many thousands of dollars deposited to her account. And I'm like, I don't know. Let me call him and find out. He's like, no. He said, he's in his 70s now. He's never married. And he just said, you know what? I realized I've got more money than I could ever spend, so I'm giving it to all the grandkids. So so there's like a dozen grandkids. So he's distributing I don't know. Like, I don't know what he plans to distribute, but we're talking about a ton of money. That's $100,000 that he's sending out there to the kids, right? Between them all. So I'm like, well, good for you.
Nice.
So my kids are all getting a little windfall here from Uncle Tom. Yeah, he's a good egg, that guy. I guess.
Uncle Tom's gonna get good presents next year.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's a smart way to do it because if you wait for retirement, then you got to pay the death tax or sorry for your will. I mean, so I
Yeah.
told my son, he's like, "Well, why?" I'm like, just consider it an early inheritance." And he's like, "Well, that sounds ominous." I'm like, "No, his health is fine. He's just I don't know, he's just feeling generous." So I thought that was pretty awesome.
L-I. So Radu, what do we think of
Yeah,
L-I?
there you go. I didn't even think of that. I should tell the kids all to open Robinhood accounts and buy GME.
Oh, scary. L LI looks very choppy, if you ask me.
Yeah, let's take a peek here at LI.
What's it
Oh
look
yeah,
like?
I'm not seeing anything.
Yeah.
The 2-minute chart looks especially bad today. From a daily chart, it looks like it's at the bottom of a range that might want to break down through. But yesterday, well, it's got an inside day going today, which means today's candle is inside the high and low of the previous day. So that doesn't, so I don't know. We'd have to wait and see what happens tomorrow. Today, I wouldn't expect anything out of LI. Tomorrow could be more of nothing. Who knows? Yeah, I don't. Nothing big there. MU. Oh, MU did finally bounce off of 79. When did GME pause? It paused at 3:39:21. Oh, so we should be starting up here. If it's a 5-minute hold, we should be starting up here in another 11 seconds. Let's see. 3, 2, 1, and no. All right. They held the GME interestingly before. Usually they stick to 5 or 10-minute holds. I honestly think they're trying to like throw people off, or they hold it for like a random time period. So here we go. It's open again.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get out of my short now. No, I'm kidding. I didn't short it. I wish I did. Look at this. Look at that. Like this is just not typical behavior on any front, right? Like when something halts on the way down, it should not jump right back up $10. Like,
Oh, did it open back up? What?
yeah, I know. Like it's just such erratic
Wow.
behavior. Like again, it's a great lesson on GME is just breaking all the rules. I had a tweet that I'd forwarded to us as a team that it was like I think it was faked, but it was from like GME Investor Relations, and it
Oh yeah.
said, "Screw you, Citron," which I thought was funny. Oh.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I saw that one too. Man. So GME is 51 million shares float. It's gone over 3 times its float today. 153 million. Yeah. I think there's a battle going on with GME, that's for sure. It's the power of put a lot of people together with the same idea, and you'd be amazed at what can happen.
AMD bounced off of VWAP back up. GE not doing much. Apple, Microsoft, yeah. Christian, there you go. That is the symbol of the Reddit Wall Street better guys, right? To the moon. Let me get this. Nokia seems to be the second most talked about item on Wall Street bets right now. People are not happy with it though.
No, people are not.
I'm reading I'm reading the Wall Street Bet comments as they're coming through, and it's the people are just like they seem to revel in their rudeness.
Are you on their site right now?
Yeah.
Reading the.
I
Yeah,
was
Simon,
reading the
no
post.
Brian today for right now. He may show up a little bit later.
Yeah, I'm just here.
Oh, Zen, we are.
See,
Yeah,
there he
Katie,
is.
I was reading the Reddit, the Wall Street Bets as it was going by. It was, yeah, so it was entertaining me. 74% no. What? Uh-oh. What? Oh man, 11 minutes left. Already? Anybody have my wife got me a Fitbit for Christmas. Got a Fitbit Charge 4. Anyways, it's lovely. Whoops. But it really doesn't like the cold. Every time I go outside for a walk or a run, it just dies.
Yep. Oh, 10-minute mark. Let's see. Let's see. AMD, Microsoft. What do they want to do into the close? GME in all of its fashion. At 150 level, still holding up pretty tight on GME. No big movements. So pull up the member trade of the day. Today goes out to Jimmy for his trade on DNKG. So he had an R4 breakout, took a nice entry when it came down, tested that level, popped back up, partial up near the 55 whole dollar area, which is good. Had nice R-vol going on it. Took another partial up by 55.80, and then you can see in his call out window there on his screenshot that had a nice little pullback that gave him a signal to add into the trade, partialed all the way up, and then got out as the stock started to roll over. So excellent trade on DKNG.
Nice. Wow. Really took it on that pullback.
Yeah.
Where stop loss should have been.
And I do like how he's identified where his stop loss should have been versus where he initially placed it.
It's easy to say in hindsight, though, but I don't know. It's that sometimes you got to be wary of putting a stop too tight because then you're tempted to break it and then you go over your loss limit.
So it's that fine line that you gotta play. If you want to submit for the member trade of the day and compete for the member trade of the week, tag at Bearable Traders at MikeB_BBT at NorBBT, and use the hashtag BBT Family Day Trading Stock Market so that we know that you're submitting your live trade to be reviewed. In about an hour and 8 minutes, Eamon will be in the webinar room presenting how to trade breakouts, everything from the 1 minute to 2 minute to 5 minute orbs, along with how he utilizes his 60-minute chart in that. The following week, we'll have Thor here talking about market auction theory and how to trade using pivots. It's a 4-part series. There'll be one per month, and that will be at 8 p.m. in the webinar room. Tomorrow, we will have 2 traders along with Dr. Katz inside the webinar room discussing some of the issues that they are coming across while trading. They will also be asking for help, and as members of participants in the webinar, you can also ask the traders or Dr. Katz any questions that you would like. The following week we'll not have Kreta. She will be on the 10th, kind of doing a market review, or not a market review, but a review of all the strategies she's talked about. We'll have some traders that will come in and ask questions about a specific strategy that they've been working on to help improve their mental edge. But next week we will have Dr. Kenneth Reed back to discuss aspects of trading and psychology. For those of you out on YouTube, if you want to give our room a try, you can use the code PREMARKET24. It's going to give you access to our onboarding class. It's going to give you access to our education center and the introduction course, as well as access to the chat room where you get to experience all the fun stuff that occurs throughout the day from the time the room opens all the way until Peter and I and Brian close out the show. If you'd like to upgrade your Elite membership or your intro membership to the annual Elite membership, you can use the code NEWYEAR40. And with that, we'll get back to trading. As we still look at GME.
Still shaking my head. Yeah, I'm still shaking my head at GME. Like such a, and you can't even tell, right? That like it went up, it was trying at 150, it fails by 18 bucks, gets halted at the bottom, and then comes right back up, and then just holds there. Like that, it's so weird.
Yeah.
Anyways, certainly goes to show how you just never assume you know how the markets work. That's when you get
bring the montage
killed.
over again. See if we can.
There is no rhyme or reason.
Can highlight
No.
the
Well,
150 level.
You know, that's why we have to be careful, because when you sort of think you know how it works, and something like GME will come along, and like I was looking at the Wall Street bets, so what's the biggest ones in their thread? Well, GME, but Nokia is catching up today. BlackBerry is right behind. PLTR is a distant fourth. And then you got some others that they're talking about in terms of number of mentions. But, you know, so we have to...
Actually, I bought some Nokia. I bought some Nokia Leafs, which are they're like, I think 2023, $5 Leafs. I just figured, well, what the heck? Well, it seems like that's a hot trade.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Nokia is resisting, but I mean, you got to remember, you know, if they're going to try and take on Nokia, it's a little bit different of an animal than GME. Like whereas GME, you know, had a 50 million share float, Nokia's got a 5 billion share float, right? So it's a little bit bigger of an animal to try and eat.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, market cap of Nokia is 27 billion as opposed to the market cap of GME, which is, well, 3 billion now, but it was really under a billion when all of this started. So, you know, it's a little bit different in terms of how much the market, you know, the established money, I'll say, will actually push back on the situation. So, anyways, we'll see what happens.
This is true. So did Tesla make it to 900 today? I don't think it did. Came pretty close.
Well, let's see here. No, 895. Yeah, 895.90.
Yeah.
GME just cannot punch through this 150. I don't think the market makers wanted to go above 150. That's for sure.
Billy really took a bit of a dive today.
Brian Radu, I'm not sure if you can see, is asking if you're thinking to hold anything overnight.
I've got some Nokia Leafs. I've still got ATNX that I'm holding from last When did I get in that? Friday, I think. Yeah, I'm not keen on an egg, actually.
Well, that's an
Not
odd
really
looking
keen.
chart.
I mean, the only one I might be. I mean, what is Plug doing? Plug was lighting things up today.
Yeah, it's
Plug,
not doing much now. It fell back to VWAP, and now it's just sort of trundling along. But it did have a good move up overall today.
man, did it. Plug and XL wasn't bad either. I think all of these charging station companies seem to be hot, hot commodities.
Hot tamales.
Hot commodities.
AMD selling off into its earnings.
What is that?
Microsoft pushing higher into
VIR.
earnings.
Yeah, because you've got, what have we got into earnings today, Mike?
Earnings today is really Microsoft, AMD, Starbucks, Texas Instruments are big four that we got up there.
AMD's kind of flat right now, selling off a bit actually. Microsoft is up a couple bucks.
So
Seems odd to me that Texas Instruments is still a bigger company than AMD, or at least they have more revenue.
got about 20 seconds if anybody's still in a trade and you don't plan on carrying it overnight to exit.
No, I don't really see anything that I'm really excited about holding, other than the very longer term plays, and of course Willow.
And there's the bell.
Let's watch AMD.
Indeed. Well, I'm certainly going to be watching my good buddy AMD here. What time are earnings coming out? Here's 4:15, so we got 15 minutes. We should get Texas Instruments right away, and then Starbucks, right? So.
Yep.
Starbucks should be interesting. Consumer discretionary.
Oh, Chris, now you're just being harsh. Yeah. Starbucks at 4:05.
Yeah. I will end up having to jump off in about 10 minutes due to having to set up for tomorrow's webinar. So, doing the technical checks today.
So we did right on schedule. We got 10 minutes into the close. We got a sell-off, kind of a pattern that keeps repeating. The semis were down quite a bit today, or not quite a bit, down a little bit. NVIDIA took a bit of a hit today, and we down a couple percent. Texas Instruments seems to be popping here.
There's a spike. Oh, what's going on here? People are positioning themselves here on AMD, anticipating the earnings, I think. Look at these candles. I'm going to write down these so I don't forget them. What have I got for tomorrow? I'm going to keep an eye on Starbucks, TXN, and of course, AMD. What is tomorrow? Wednesday.
Starbucks is popping up a bit here. It's kind of predictable. Kind of figured they would. If I was going to bet on Starbucks, which I don't do earnings, but I would have thought Starbucks would come out with some decent numbers.
I don't understand how. Shouldn't their business be way down?
I know. I think it's not so much comparables. It's more sort of what expectations. I mean, expectations are with a lot of the guidance that the analysts are giving. I think is pretty negative for obvious reasons. So a lot of these companies are coming out and beating quote expectations. And
Yeah.
I guess and the guidance, of course. I think everybody's going to be. I think a lot of the companies are guiding for a better second half.
Yeah.
Microsoft is popping too here.
Wow. $8.
Yeah.
Apple is as well.
Microsoft.
Oh yeah. No,
That's a good move.
I'll do that. Yeah, for sure. Okay. Yeah. Let's leave it on your desk. AMD's popping up a little bit here, I think, anticipating. The anticipation that's killing us. I think it's going to go through 100 here, eh? On this.
Oh, George, you're saying AMD beat their numbers? Let's see here if I got that. What's my big thing
AMD's
again?
up?
Squawk guy. I don't know.
Kind of muted. Texas Instruments, kind of a muted reaction. Starbucks, not blowing the doors off, obviously. See, this is the thing. I mean,
What? Look at Starbucks.
Look at that.
Yeah, I know. It's
Came
funny,
out of nowhere.
You just
Look at
gotta
the
be careful
spread, though.
because some of these stocks are, they come out with decent earnings, and it's almost a sell. It's become a sell the news event. You saw that with the financials. There were some numbers that came out of some pretty good numbers that came out of some of the financials and in that sector, and every one of the financials sold off. AMD's kind of struggling to get above this 95.50 level.
Starbucks going down.
Yeah, well, it's jumping all over the place. Texas Instruments not really doing anything. Whoa, Microsoft is really blowing the doors off there.
Yeah, look at that. Holding up 243, $10 pop on them.
Oh. What happened to Starbucks?
It's just kind of surprising because I think a lot of people still get coffee through the drive-thrus.
Well, maybe in California.
Oh, yeah.
Here they're all just shut, and they've been shut for
Oh, really?
a while. Well, I mean, we're in full pandemic lockdown, so they're not considered an essential service. They've got no justification for that, so they're shut. They're closed.
Mm. Amd pushing higher. It's today the day.
Is today the day? Is now the time? Still hasn't broken over the high of the day, although it's getting close. Well, now it has. There you go.
There we go. Microsoft numbers, I guess, are out. least on MS or CNBC. There goes AMD, 96. Voodoo level, yes, Chris. We'll see.
Usually the way these things work is it'll consolidate now for an hour or so, and then around 6:30, an hour and a half from now, it'll start to move again if it's going to move up.
$96.60.
Well, this is moving slow. Starbucks is coming back up though, and AMD's coming back down. All right. Microsoft though is still consistently just
Pushing higher.
Pushing up, yeah.
Microsoft should be good tomorrow. So I do have to run, so I will say bye to everybody on YouTube. Thank you for joining us. If you're in the room, I know Peter will be sticking around for the AMD earnings. So everybody in the room, have a great evening. Don't forget about Eamon's webinar today at 5 p.m. in the webinar room.
Later, Mike.